Hello, 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 one and all. Welcome to the show. It's
Can
episode 20 of the Horsemen podcast, the 1 year anniversary of the show's existence. And wow, what a show we got for you today. It's a Q&A live, our first ever live episode. And, oh, I almost forgot the. Mm, mm, mm. I have to do that to make sure Artur, whenever we speak, the mic doesn't go absolutely insane. But yeah, we got a special live Q&A episode for you guys as we are waiting for the peeps to arrive in the chat to send us questions. But I figured how we'll do this episode, in case we don't get very many questions, we'll just be talking about stuff within metal, within music, and just overall have a good time to celebrate 1 year of this show. But of course, I'm not alone. Of course, joining me are three of the other four regulars. We got right above me, as I'm looking up at him right now, Artur Felipe Castanha from Portugal. The crazy man, as I call him.
And the professional hitman of the podcast.
Yeah, he has committed mass genocide on this podcast. The man who takes up all the attention and the whole screen, Horror Master, or otherwise Ricky.
Hello. Been lagging for almost throughout this whole show, throughout the beginning, but not anymore.
Then top left is our favorite German woman. Please welcome Hannah Klein.
Hello.
And special guest returning for the first time in a long time. Special guest, please welcome KamikazeGames.
Is that me? I think that's me, right?
I would hope. Otherwise, are you just an evil doppelganger?
He's an imposter.
I am Kamikaze Games evil. Kamikaze.
I'm shocked we haven't had a cameo from Tails already. Then again, we were stuck looking at
Man,
Tails
that's
the
a
whole
three
time.
in the morning.
So, yes, we are all here today, live, to shoot the shit and answer questions if need be, and so on and so forth. Figured we're all, I would think everyone here is wearing a band shirt. I'm wearing the typical Broken Hope shirt because it's the best one that I have, and the only one that properly fits my fat gut. Artur's got Rhapsody or Rhapsody of Fire. Ricky with Behemoth. Hannah wearing Solstice, but you wearing a band shirt, Dylan, or are you stuck with something else?
Do you want me to change shirts midstream? 'Cause I can. And Kamikaze takes off his shirt.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time you've done it on a video, at least.
Well, let's not go.
Yeah, let's not talk about that particular video because it's his worst nightmare.
I mean, I have a System of a Down shirt within arm's reach, if that's good.
Yeah, there you go.
Now that they have announced that they are going to do a world tour and they are going to reunite after how many years has it been since System of a Down has been reunited? At least 7-8 years.
Yeah, roughly.
I mean, I know they played.
They played in Armenia.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Not too long ago. And they played at Rock am Ring and several festivals
They played at.
quite recently.
I know they played at Sonic Temple. I want to say in early summer, early May, around there.
Yeah, I would think.
I'm checking up on it. The last time they played together was at Chicago Open Air, May 18th, 2019.
Was it the Sonic Temple or the AM?
They played at Chicago Open Air, Sonic Temple. Well, that's the only two shows this year.
Yeah.
And last year they played a lot of shows in the US.
No, then all the rumors of infighting and stuff were just hype. We're just hype.
Yeah, and I haven't listened to System of a Down in a long time.
I listened to BYOB yesterday.
I prefer to listen to some of the old stuff. Although I prefer Holy Mountain, the full Soldier Side song, but it's not something that I listen.
And our first chat message we got was quite random. I'm not going to repeat it because it's not my language.
In what language is it?
Racist. That's what it was.
Aha.
But nonetheless, now that I got rid of that, yeah, that's why I had to take down the chat box for a moment and then fix it so that way it wouldn't stay on the damn thing. But I figured to kind of get things going, why don't we ask each other a question or two just for the hell of it? I have a question for Ricky. So, Ricky,
All right.
if you had to choose one of these two bands to see for the rest of your life on a desert island, which would it be? Judas Priest or Iron Maiden?
Well, I'm in Texas, so the desert island thing is already taken care of. I'm already used to the heat. Maiden and Priest. Well, I am seeing Maiden in 2 days. Judas Priest, I was supposed to see them 4 years ago, but I couldn't go. My parents didn't let me. But I guess more iconic, I would go with Maiden, but at the same time, Priest, they're the metal god. So I guess I'm gonna go with Judas Priest, since I'm saying Maiden in 2 days.
Alrighty.
I guess.
I had a frog in my throat for a second. Artur, I got this for you. If you were stuck on a desert island, what Moonspell album would you want to listen to for the rest of your life? Since they're the mainstay of Portugal metal, so
Easy. I would choose two. I would choose two. The last one that they made full on in Portuguese, 1755, and their first one, Wolfheart. Shit, part of Wolfheart is part of my tattoo, so easy. Wolfheart and 1755.
interesting. I'm trying to think of a good one to ask Hannah here.
I'm trying to think. Let me think here.
I want to poke the beast with a stick on this question because I know she's gonna hate me for it.
Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't do it!
Which band?
I now know where you live, so I can come over and haunt you till the end of your days.
So, which band would you rather see live? Ghost with the prequel album in its entirety, or Avantasia?
I would go see the Village People instead.
So
Neither.
in case for people who are watching right now don't get that, we'll never forget the moment at the end of last year when we did our top 10 albums of 2018, and I had Ghost prequel at number 4.
That album is shit. Just admit it.
I will not admit it. I liked it.
Neither will I.
Then again, it was my
will
first
make
full
you-
Ghost album I ever heard, so it's kind of biased to that
Listen to
extent.
the rest.
Oh, I'll never forget that, and that's become a.
Started a war between Europe and America again.
Just about Ghost. Who would have thought? But then again, Ricky had his at number 3. I wouldn't have went that far. I was close, but I didn't go that far.
Hey, but you mentioned it first, so
You
I'm
brought it
technically
up.
safe.
It's your fault, Levi.
I know.
But then again, if Levi wouldn't brought it up, I was gonna bring it up. So either way, we're both.
So it honestly wouldn't have mattered. The outcome would have been the same. And that's why now at the end of the majority of my videos now, with the cool outros that were created by Kamikaze, which I thank you for that, the moment where Hannah's like, "Screw you, die!" That's become a staple of the outros on my videos because it's such a funny moment.
Yeah.
I have my moment.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, we all have had our moments on the
We
show.
all do.
Diabolos in Musica.
No! Fuck that album up! It's fucking asshole! Only
Levi.
good song on that
What would
album
you
is Stain
rather
of Mine.
be-
Everything else is shit.
I
The
have
worst
a question
Slayer
for you,
album
Levi.
ever.
I have a question for you, Levi. Would you
Alright.
rather stay a concert virgin for the rest of your life, or watch Slayer perform Diabolos in Musica as your first concert instead?
Jesus Christ, why?
You started it.
I'm just poking back.
I guess if it had to come down to that, I would rather stay a concert virgin. I do not want to listen to Diabolus and Musica in full live. That would be the worst. Hell, even Kerry King wouldn't be happy about that. He'd be like, "Why the fuck are we doing this?"
Even Kerry King admitted that Diablos is their Turbo, which I don't think that Turbo is the worst
No.
Judas Priest album of all.
That
No.
would be
No.
point of entry.
Hey, yeah.
I would put on. I would say 1-on-1.
Yeah, perhaps.
Mm.
Alright, anybody got a question for good old Kamikaze? Because I'm still trying to think of one.
Okay, here's one. If you could go back in time to any era of the 80s, 70s, 90s, 60s, whatever, which band would you see in your prime when they're barely starting? I guess it's thinking.
He's thinking.
I knew which one, for at least for me.
Oh, I know which one for me either.
Me too.
It's obvious.
Should be obvious for me as well.
Was that question? My internet is.
Oh, he's asking what the question was, Ricky.
Oh, if you could go back in time to any era of music, whether it be the 70s, 60s, 80s, what have you, what band would you see in their prime when they're barely starting?
I could do one for like every era, but total like I can't think of the word, but total Metallica in the 80s would be incredible.
That was gonna be my answer. That was gonna be my answer too. Damn it.
Metallica.
Yeah. Alright, anyone else want to ask each other a question? But while we still wait for people to file in the chat for the actual Q&A.
I guess it would be kind of fitting if we tell the story how this all came about, since the one.
Well, you know what's funny? Actually, now that you said that, to tell the story how this show came about, we actually got our first question From my man Joey from Twitter, who's a big Zev Bellringer fan like me, same with his wife. He asked, whose idea was it to start this podcast up a year ago? Perfect
The
segue.
one in the middle.
Yep, Ricky, would you like to tell the story of how this show became a thing?
It's all your fault.
I mean, I don't want to say this is my show because it's not my show. It's our show.
Yeah.
But it's
You
all
were
of
the
us.
initiator.
Well, technically, it was me and
Yes.
Archer. Here's the story. When Banger TV started it, myself with Archer, Raphael Fireblade, and Delicious Dishes, we were the ones that would comment the most, or our comments would be written the most and all that. So
Same with
we
me,
call
too.
it-
Even though I was kind of singled out.
Even at the time, I think it was on a Doom show or something like that. Sam acknowledged that the original four, me, Ricky, Delicious Dishes, and Raphael, we were the four horsemen of podcasts. We started to joke that a little bit, and that kind of stuck. I mean, kind of got stuck. And it's still stuck until Lockhorns eventually went Splitsville, and now they're not going to do any live chatting. They're just going to do questions and such. And out of the blue, me and Ricky, we were talking. We had exchanged Facebooks with each other, and we kind of had the idea to bring in everyone. But then again, we met Levi, and the rest, in a way, is his.
Yeah, and what's funny is the very first episode we did it on Ricky's channel, which is why the first episode isn't on here. We did it on his channel, and and it's like, no disrespect to Ricky, but it didn't get shit for views because you're not that active on the site other than comments. But we came up with the idea of, like, or maybe I did by myself, I don't know, to have me run the show, put it on my channel, so that way it gets some views and maybe some comments. And at first we did it on Facebook video calls at first, but then I thought to myself, because, well, I got my own Discord server, I thought, why not try to get the most out of it and the most out of Discord as a whole and take the show over there? And I can't remember what episode was that, Ricky, that we started on Discord. Was it episode 3 or 4?
It was episode 2, the cover song.
Cover songs.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was the first episode
And,
on the channel. I wasn't sure if it was the same episode as when we went to Discord, though.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't remember. But, yeah, I mean, the first episode was on my channel. I remember I tried to look for an app to record the show.
And you couldn't find one, so it all the weight went over to me, and luckily, now up until this episode, which we're using OBS, and I'm shocked it's actually been this decent. Even though I honestly feel like if I had a better computer, the quality and stuff would be so much better. But for what we got with this, with my name and the logos on the bottom, the chat on the right, and the webcam stuff on top, it's actually not been so bad as far as frame rates, which I'm very impressed by. But nonetheless, but usually now, for those who may be wondering, how do I record the episodes? I use Bandicam to record, although because for some reason Kamikaze told me about this, so like how he does his Nostradamus predictions video for NASCAR on his channel that he uses for what the fuck, Bandicam uses the target window for something, I think for your browser, was it? I can't remember exactly what you told me. He don't even remember. But, like, for some reason it won't capture Discord, so I have to use the rectangular feature. And did you just comment in the stream? I see Hannah K say hello. You're breaking the fourth wall here, ma'am.
You're breaking the fourth wall. Come on.
She's pulling a Deadpool. Anyways, so because I use Bandicam, it won't, when I try to do the target thing, it won't take Discord, so I have to use the regular, like, stretch out the rectangle. Although the big flaw with doing that is, like, if I had to go to a different window, you would see me go to a different window, and also, and we've shouted you out many times, Kamikaze, because there have been times where we would record, and we would see your Twitter feed pop up, and I'd be like, oh, well, thank you for cameoing this week, Kamikaze. So that's happened many, many times.
Yeah.
So that's the one.
I'm still a cameo.
But that's the big problem with trying to use Bandicam to record. But it does get its point across, which it does a good job. The quality's decent. Although, whenever we get, or whenever I get a new computer, like Kamikaze does with those crazy RAM and graphics cards and shit, the show will be a lot better in terms of quality. Maybe we could do more live episodes properly on that. We just gotta wait and see what happens. But yeah, that's how we record, is with good old Bandicam, and that's basically it. We actually got a few questions coming in now, which is great. The first one,
I like the one regarding Ricky.
yeah, from Immortal 101. Why is the guy in the middle always in his car or outside at each episode? Haha. Well,
Well,
would you like to tell us something?
okay. The reason I am in my own car is because on my house the internet is shit.
Very
And
true.
right now, I am literally parked outside of Walmart where there's a good internet service. It's the only place I can do it. Whenever I get good internet on my house, I'll begin to do it on my own room.
Yeah. So there's your answer for people who've been wondering why that is. Which, it's understandable, because, I mean, prior to today, me and Ricky had been doing recording testing for the show to make sure everything was in tip-top shape. And he was in his house, and there would be times where he couldn't hear me at all because of how shit his internet was. We were also playing, like, Guess the Song, and oh man, Ricky, you have got a lot of work to do.
It was not my day. Trust me. It was
Yeah,
not
I
my
know. There will be times where it won't be my day if I had to play that game myself. From Marley Good. This one's actually for Kamikaze. I know the answer to this, but some might not. What is your favorite metal band?
Did you ask the question? Because I'm still having internet.
The question was from Marley Good, asked solely for you, what is your favorite metal band? Oh.
See, I answered the question.
Oh, what?
Because you see what I posted in the chat. That's my Wi-Fi. It keeps dropping.
Well, you're still on the call, which is something. Well, Ricky, for now, you're not the lagger in this episode. It's him. So for once, the nickname's transitioned to someone else.
Yeah.
His answer is Static X.
Which I knew that already, considering back before he started doing the new outros and stuff for himself, his main outro theme was Shock Treatment by Static X. So that kind of gave me the hint. Plus, he's only ever reviewed one album on his channel, and it was Start a War, I think?
I don't know. So here's a story. Here's a story that I guess a lot of people don't know about this show. originally this was supposed to be the 21st episode, but remember Levi when we did episode 3 that somehow it didn't record it. That said we had to redo it again.
Oh, the long songs.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah,
I don't. I don't.
I do. We had so many technical difficulties with
Oh
that
yeah,
episode.
yeah. Oh god.
That was probably
I think
like
that
the
was. I
one-
think that was the episode that I had to edit the most.
Yeah, I think you did.
That
But then
was
for
so
some weird
brutal.
reason, you didn't record it. It didn't record the episode, so we did it again. This time
Yeah.
with Arthur, because on this, yeah. Ugh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I remember because I was going ballistic crazy, because it was in my room, my internet was still shit, and I would just write on my paper my answers. I was like, "Fucking kill me!"
Now I remember that. That was really really brutal.
That was a fun one.
It was.
Yeah,
The
but-
next question we got. Well, first of all, I love this comment from my buddy Joey. I want Zev to dress in a Deadpool costume. I do too. Immortal 101 also asks, oh lord. I'll start this off. Thoughts on Asking Alexandria as a band?
Can I
Okay.
say first?
Alright, go ahead, because I've got a lot to say about
They're
them.
shit. They're shit.
I agree.
No comment.
Kamikaze? He probably doesn't even know what to say. And I don't blame him if he didn't. Okay,
For me, aren't you? Because I didn't hear the question.
the question was thoughts on Asking
'Cause I keep
Alexandria.
I haven't heard anything by them in a while.
Okay,
There you go.
my thoughts on Asking Alexandria. One of the absolute worst bands in the history of metal. But, with that said, they're not all that bad. There is much worse shit out there than Asking Alexandria. Try Blood on the Dance Floor. Try New Five Finger Death Punch. Try Nickelback. Try Limp
Bring me
Bizkit.
the horizon.
And them too. Like, I gave them a chance on their album in 2016, but it was such a struggle to get through. The problem with bands like Asking Alexandria, and I'll even lump in Black Veil Brides to that extent, these two bands try so hard to emulate Avenged Sevenfold. And we're talking like early Avenged Sevenfold. And they do a terrible job at it because you cannot, I don't care who you are, if you try and mock Avenged Sevenfold's music, and even if it's a good job or not, fuck you, because Avenged Sevenfold's my second favorite band of all time. One of the reasons why I'm a metalhead to this day. And when you got bands trying to clone them, and they do a terrible job at, you're just killing their reputation. And that sucks, because A7X is legitimately a great band, and I look forward to hearing where they
That
go for their
happens
next
with
album.
Avenged Sevenfold, but then we ask ourselves, how many bands have tried to copy Maiden, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, or even, if we talk about industrial, how many bands have tried to copy Godflesh, Fear Factory, or
Rammstein.
Ministry.
Sterling
Yeah.
Ministry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
They always copy cats around.
Right.
yeah, there'll
Well-
always be bands that copy one another, and sometimes they do good with it, but most of the times it just leaves me feeling like this. Oh. So there you go.
Yep. Well, I got a couple of questions that I've written down with some friends of mine who see the show. So
Oh.
let's see. Let me get a good one. This is an easy one. Who created the logo?
Me.
Anna.
Yep.
Anna. I mean,
And I like how
got
I like how I was pointing
Answer is
to
German.
Hannah, and my fingers were like right there to where she is, so that was perfect.
Let's see. Let me get another one. We already answered that one. How we all met. This is an interesting one. Best concert so far.
I have no answer, sadly.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know,
Concert so far.
Ah, we got Rick Allen. It had to happen.
I think Hannah, if you want to answer first.
The thing is, I've been to so many concerts. Can you mute yourself, Oscar?
Oh yeah. Bing.
Well, the thing is, I've been to so many concerts, and I mean, a lot of them have been great. The greatest, I mean, Rammstein has been awesome, especially when I saw them in Vienna a couple of weeks ago in the front row. Phenomenal. Still blown away by it, and how close they get to the fire, how energetic they are. But I mean, Primordial Life is awesome. Rotting Christ, Watain, Ministry is a killer live band for me. I don't like Ministry that much, but I love them live.
The middle finger is because Ministry and because of one of their latest songs.
Yes, I know. Yes, I know, but I love them live. I don't support Antifa. I don't support anything right wing. I hate both extremist sides, but I simply can't deny it that Ministry is an awesome live band for me. MCC Live was great, following them all around Europe. There are quite a few bands that I like live, but I think the greatest probably is Rammstein.
Would an honorable mention be Watain, especially getting covered in pig's blood?
Well, I mentioned them.
To me,
Or Dark Nocturne Slaughter Cult. They are live. They're great as well live. Or Migwa. Migwa is awesome live.
did not like Migla when they opened for Behemoth.
Oh, that was an awesome tour.
Secrets of the... to me, just like I've seen many shows, I've been to festivals, and I think that I have maybe three of the greatest shows I've ever seen. Maiden, of course, but I would say the first time that I saw Maiden, which was the Maiden England, they came to Portugal and they played Seventh Son of a Seventh Son in its entirety. Another one, and this was in a small venue, was Primordial. Primordial Live, as Anna said, they blew everything off the stage, and this was because I don't know, but I think it's Maiden, Primordial, and this was one that I love the most because it was the first time that I saw a concert outside Portugal, and I went to Spain. I've seen Septic Flesh, Inquisition, and Odious from I mean, Septic Flesh is another great band that you absolutely have to see.
They are.
Septic Flesh, when I saw in Spain. If I have to put an honorable, I would say every single show that I saw when I was in Hellfest, whether it was Dropkick Murphys, whether it was Rammstein, King Diamond, Black Sabbath, Blind Guardian. Honorable mentions, everything that I saw at Hellfest.
I
Ricky?
forgot something. I
Oh.
forgot a non-metal band. I saw David Gilmour of Pink Floyd live, and that was also a magic moment. I mean, he played for 3 hours. Not many not many legends played that amount of time, and he played for 3 fucking hours, and I was blown away by it. I mean, I was sitting next to 70-year-olds that all ages were there, and it was so amazing. His voice is still on point, and then his guitar. I got blown away by that, and I would give an arm and a leg to see him again. I forgot him. I would put him very close to Rammstein, if not on the same level.
All right, and Ricky.
For me, I have three. I'm not counting Maiden. That's still debatable, but for sure, after I see them, they're gonna go up the list. The first one, this might be a bit controversial. Marilyn Manson, and here's why. The first time I saw Marilyn Manson was the first time I went to a show outside of my hometown, and actually for that I had to take the Greyhound, which for all of you who don't know, uh, where I live, for San Antonio to where I live, it's 2.5 hours. At the time, I didn't have my driver's license, so and my parents weren't gonna drive me there. So I was like, "What's the next step? Take the bus." So it was kind of scared. I was scared, but excited at the same time. Luckily, the venue was literally 2 blocks away from the bus station. But and then 2 blocks before that, there was a Baptist church.
Oh, jeez.
So I was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna see some protesters there." Thankfully, there was no protesters there. First time, like I said, seeing Manson, it was not something that I can't believe I actually experienced. The the basis, I don't know what his name was. It wasn't Twiggy. He took a shot of water and spit at me and some of my friends that I made there. And we were like, "Oh shit!" Like he spit on us, but the center were like, "That's so cool." The second show, it was here in my hometown, and it was my first black metal show, which was WADA. This one was in a smaller venue. First time I experienced black metal mass, and for that venue to be that small, for have the high quality band, it was amazing. Especially one of the roadies said no flash photography since they keep their identities hidden. Even though I actually met them without their identity, without their all put up.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. First time moshing at a black metal show, it was crazy. We had 3 local bands open the show, 2 from my hometown, and then 1 more from Dallas, and it was great. It was great. And also on that one, I got my first Trooper beer. They actually sell Trooper beer in that venue, which I still have it unopened on my room on display.
Huh.
And the last honorable mention, which this is like one of the most recent shows, was seeing Cradle of Filth in San Antonio again. But this time, this is a different story because I actually met almost everyone except for Danny Filth and the bassist. And I remember my bus was scheduled to leave at 12 in the morning to go back to my hometown. And I met a guy who lived in my hometown. So I told him, "Can you give me a ride back home so I can actually stay a bit longer to meet, Lindsay and everyone else?" So I did that. So after that, we drove off to my hometown. He asked me, "By what area do you live?" I'm like, "Oh, I live by the south side." He lives by the north side. So he had to work like at 4 in the morning. So he calls me a cab to go pick me up, send me to my house. You know what's the funny thing about it? My parents don't know that this happened. All they know is that I told them I was coming late around 4 in the morning to the bus station. My friend and I were gonna go eat after there, and then his parents were gonna drive me to my house. They don't know that ever happened, but you know what? I risked it because I got to meet almost everyone from Cradle of Filth, especially Lindsay, since I have a huge crush on Lindsay. I mean, she's beautiful. She's beautiful.
She is.
She's
She is.
beautiful. She's beautiful, and it's probably my best concert memory that I have at the moment. I don't think nothing will ever top it off. The only thing that could ever top it off is if I get to meet Angus Young and Brian Johnson. That will be the ultimate dream.
And then, of course, as most people know, Kamikaze and I were concert virgins, and it pisses me the hell off. Ugh.
We have to abduct you and take
Oh, wait,
you to
hold
shows.
on. What?
I have to finger wave this one away. Because I have seen 3 concerts in my life, alright?
Oh, okay.
First one, I was 13. The church held it. It's like, it's this, basically unknown Christian rock group, alright? It was cringy, but really loud, and my ears were ringing, so I felt good afterwards. Second one, held by the church, another Christian rock
Not
band.
again.
But the third one, last summer, I went to Sturgis, and I saw Kid Rock.
Oh, boy.
And to be
Artor's food, man!
Oh my god.
And to be honest, I enjoyed it.
Oh, my lord.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna go back to Sturgis this year because Skid Row was there, but like I still don't think that Sebastian is back with them yet. So it's like, why?
No, he hasn't
No.
been with them since like for almost 10 years. So
Yeah, I would have gone if he was still with them, but not worth it.
let's see. I have one more question, and that's about it for me. In your guys' opinion, can you describe what for you? What is each one of you's favorite episode thus far?
Oh, lord. How much time do I have in my mind?
I mean, for me, I think it's the censorship in metal.
Yeah, that was a good
Fashion
one.
and censorship. That's probably one of my favorites since that's the first time that we had a discussion and we tackled everything.
Everything from Cannibal Corpse to Twisted Sister to Kim Kardashian.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay.
I don't know
As
what...
Gary Holt would say, kill the Kardashian.
I don't know what would be my favorite episode. We've had many good ones.
Well,
I want to say
Well,
I want to say the album of the year episode for 2018 just for what happened with Hannah and I, because that was such a good moment. But like, as far as like an actual discussion and sorts, the religion and metal episode was a good one. That was a really good one. I would have loved if Kamikaze would have been there, because I bet he would have had a lot to say about that. But that was a good episode. I also really liked the death metal albums episode that we did. That we were supposed to have gotten Bradley from Banger TV on, but he couldn't make it. And also, he even admitted in a Q&A he did on Patreon that he actually sent me the link to, saying like, I don't know how I can do that because it's such a broad genre. Which, true point.
I think my favorite would have to be the black metal episode, just because I love black metal.
I think you were gonna say Rammstein.
Yeah, I thought you would
The
say
second
Rammstein.
favorite. That's my second favorite, but I mean both. I hold them both very dear to my heart.
Just like how I hold thrash and death metal near and dear to my heart. I forgot the thrash metal albums episode 2 was great.
I mean, we all have genres and bands that we like more than
Others, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at me. I'm wearing a Broken Hope shirt, for crying out loud.
again.
Well, like I said, it's the only good metal shirt I have right now. Well, I do have the Sepultura shirt, but it's a little tight around my stomach.
It's a good one too. I think that to me, all the episodes that we did were great. I mean, all the discussions we had, religion in metal, the censorship too, those were great. I love the black metal one, but I would say that they're my favorite episodes, but I would say that my favorite moments were, I mean, the genocides that I performed here.
Yes.
With some of my choices, I mean...
Who will ever forget you killing all of us when you had Hallowed Be Thy Name number 2 on your Maiden song list?
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Ricky, remember Johnny Cash? Johnny Cash.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that.
I mean, that one would be a bit expected because Artly, I would never put any other song than Power Slave. Just like I could not put any other album than Power Slave in my best Iron Maiden, in my best Iron Maiden. But I still enjoy what we do here. I still enjoy what we do here. The day that we will meet all of us will meet in person. I don't know if we're going to make a stream or a live show, but that would be a hell of idea.
Yeah.
Uh,
Write it down.
Kamikaze, do you have a favorite episode of what we've done?
I don't think I can pick one because this show has such a great dynamic. Like every time y'all four are on camera, like it's must watch because like you have no idea what's gonna happen next. You
Right.
have no idea whose feelings are gonna get hurt. It's the best.
Remember, Hannah, you're number 3. Metallica, 1.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that was another mass genocide.
Yes.
Or how about this one? In my black metal album,
I forgot
Oh,
something.
the Satanist.
I
that's my number
forgot.
1.
Yeah, that was a controversial moment right there because it's like they're not black metal; they're blackened death. But it's whatever.
I know, but again, at the time it was the album I was listening to the most, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put something controversial, and sure I did.
But another great moment that I completely forgot about, and I don't know if it might be up there with Hannah going Hulk on me for Ghost. But when Artur brought up Mutter as number 2 on Rammstein songs, and I fell back on my chair and went,
Oh,
"No!" That was an iconic moment.
Or when I brought Diablos in Música.
Fuck that album. I have to say it every time. Why did Slayer have to go new metal? Stain of Mine, the
They
only good
simply-
song. Everything else was
They
fucking
simply wanted to
terrible.
torture you, Levi. That's the only intention why they ever
I was
released
only
that
4,
album.
and I wasn't even in the music yet.
But they had you in mind when they wrote it and recorded it.
Oh.
They only thought about you.
Yeah.
Just like how Ghost only thought about you when they made Prequel. There, we're even.
God.
We're even.
And,
Alright,
yeah.
so that was a fun bunch of questions. Back to the live chat to see what all we've had. Couple more from Immortal 101. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Artur and Hannah, be prepared to shout "fuck you." What are thoughts on the band Skillet?
Fuck Jesus Christ.
Oh,
I won't be able to speak anything because I don't know what the hell are you talking.
I had to endure them once when I was at a festival in the Netherlands. And I was so happy when they finished their set.
I just know 2 songs for them, Hero and Monster.
I mean, that's all everybody knows.
yeah.
That's it. I have no comment about that.
I
I
mean-
think they're annoying. Besides those 2 songs, they don't belong on metal festivals. I don't want to see them there, and that's it.
I mean, for me, like, I like a few of their songs. I've never listened to a full album of theirs, and I don't plan to anytime soon. The one thing...
It's better that way.
The one thing I will give them credit for, their lead guitarist, Seth Morson's, actually lives in the same county as I do, so there's a little bit of something there, because he's from the same county. I live in Scioto County, Ohio, Wheelersburg, which is just like 25 minutes down the road from my house, so I'm kind of a little biased to that extent because he's the one big musician from my neck of the woods, which is something, but, I mean... They got a few good songs, but it doesn't change the fact that they're a mediocre band at best. So, that's really all I gotta say about Skillet. Kamikaze, you're just smiling. I'm just waiting for you to say something.
I own Comatose and Awake. on
Ah,
Shame.
I'm trying
Shame.
to. I'm looking
That's
forward
a-
to see if I have it with me. I don't know.
I just like I pointed out on Kamikaze's Richmond review the other day, when you pulled out a Hinder album, I said, "Boo this man." Boo this man.
Shame.
Sorry, I'm a
Shame.
poser, and I admit it.
Shame.
Poser. I'm a self-admitted poser, okay? But I owned the Comatose CD for 13 years, okay? That's my one excuse. I got it when I was 9.
Alright, that fair. And now how about a band that's a lot less controversial? Immortal 101 asks, I'll begin this one. Thoughts on Breaking Benjamin? I like Breaking Benjamin. I think they're a good band, even though they're mainstream darlings now. They're a heavy band for what they are in that alternative metal / post-grunge sound, and they don't sound like copycats like a lot of other post-grunge bands or alternative metal bands do. They got something to their sound, and I kind of grew up on them a little bit thanks to my brothers being into them, like So Cold, a great track, Diary of Jane, how can you ignore that? I mean, hell, that was the theme of NASCAR 07, for Christ's sake. And Rick Allen pops in again.
I turned the Wi-Fi off this thing. It shouldn't even be getting this.
Turn the cell service off and you'll be fine. Yeah, Kamikaze, you can't... Dylan, you can't go one video or stream without getting Rick Allen.
I'm sorry. I don't even mean to do it, but he likes to butt in every single video.
At least it's not my phone going pingus all the damn time. I blame you for making me do that, because now whenever I get text messages, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You tied me up in a chair. You tied me up in a chair and told me that if I didn't make Pingus my text toad, you were gonna have Tails tongue kiss me.
That's right. I don't remember that because I blacked out. That might have been when I was super drunk, okay? But if you want an apology, you're getting it right now, alright?
Oh my god.
I'll say straight
Oh, my
away,
cheek
once again, I don't know what you're talking about. Breaking Benjamin, I don't know.
Oh, my head.
For me, Breaking Benjamin has become one of my favorite bands. I have all of their albums on CD, especially the new one.
I haven't heard the
forgot the
new
name of
stuff yet, which is sad.
It's pretty good. Breaking Benjamin follow the same AC/DC formula. They stick to what they know. They don't try to be experimental. They don't try to move for what they already know. They just stick to what they have.
Hannah, any opinion?
I don't listen to them. I'm not the biggest fan of grunge or alternative metal. There are a few songs here and there that I listen to from this kind of genre, but Breaking Benjamin just has never popped up on my musical horizon. So, can't say anything about them. It's not my music.
And Dylan.
Well, I think they're a pretty good gateway drug to metal. They're a pretty good starter band for people.
Yeah.
But, I like a few of their songs. Nothing special, but I'm glad they're around.
Next question from Michael MSC. Very good one. Any plans on the future of the Horsemen podcast? Yes, we got the next 4 episodes already prepared. What those 4 episodes are, next episode we do, which will be back to its traditional format of pre-recorded, pre-edited on Bandicam and other things. We're going to do folk metal albums, which, as I've said, I have a lot to listen to, because I have
Me too.
not listened to much folk metal in my life. Next episode after that is going to be one of those other breaking points for me. Top 10 Roadrunner Records albums. Then
I have to do a lot of listening for that one.
Then the next episode after that, Ricky's Breaking Point, Top 10 AC/DC songs.
No.
Now, this will be
We will
news.
break him!
And this one's going to be news to Hannah and Artur. But we got another special guest lined up for a future episode. Cover Killer Nation will join us. And we're doing top 10 prog metal albums.
If he goes, I go.
Oh,
I don't
no.
like him. Oh no.
Oh no.
I don't like him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I respect what he done personally, but I don't like. I found some of his reviews and some of the stuff that he did somewhat SJW. So I'm sorry. I'm anti SJW. So me and Cover Killer, we would be.
I want to see an Arthur CKN cage match on the Four Horsemen podcast.
It'd be a bloodbath, that's for sure.
Can I bring a tag team partner? Hey, Walter, come over here, please.
Just so you can chop him.
The challenge is out there. Come on, Cover Killer.
Oh,
Put
God.
on the fisticuffs.
I mean,
I can work with it. I mean, for the good of the show, I can work with it, but don't expect me to agree with a lot of things that he will be saying. I've seen some of his stuff. I've disagreed. I didn't comment or such, but personally, I've disagreed with some of the things that he did, some of the reviews that he did. So I will try to be on my best behavior. No murdering.
I mean, then again, I've known Mark for a couple of years now, ever since we started talking on Facebook, and he's always been cool with me. The reason why I started doing the sunglasses gig on my reviews is because he's going to be retiring after the end of the year, and I'm like, well, I like wearing these. Well, I only wear them for when I mow grass because I don't want to get grass in my eyes.
Don't forget that Razor Fist also wears that.
He also does it too, so you could kind of also say it's from him as well. But yeah, that's that. But also
here's something that you should try. Try to get some of the Hitman wraparound shades.
Oh yeah, Bret Hart. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. But yeah, with Mark, he was kind of a gateway for me getting into prog bands because he's such a progressive music fanatic, and it was kind of thanks to him that I got into bands like Opeth and even Dream Theater to an extent. So, I mean, I've liked what he's done, even if I didn't agree with certain things he would say about subjects, but he's a fun guy to talk to, at least on Facebook and stuff like that. Even if you don't agree with his opinions about certain bands or genres, I personally don't totally agree with his opinion about slam death metal, even though I can kind of agree, yeah, it's a bit redundant, but I'm not.
I think that he contradicts himself. From what I heard, he's a big Warbringer fan, which I can agree with it. But
yeah,
I think that in one of his reviews he started to slam a bit some death metal albums and such. And then when I heard, I thought, don't you listen to Warbringer, which is a bit the same thing as those guys? I can't remember which album it is, but I think that he did a bit of that. Slammed something, and which happened to be a bit the same thing as Warbringer, and I think, dude, didn't you like Warbringer? It's a bit ironic.
Yeah, and I will say the one contradicting moment I remember wanting to point out at him at one point was when he did his top 10 biggest douchebags in rock and metal in 2016, and he had Phil Anselmo and Rob Flynn on for different reasons. Rob, because he was trying to speak out against racism, and he brought up the point of, trying to be PC in a genre that's not PC is not very PC. It's PS, pretty stupid. That I agree with, but then he goes afterwards talking about Phil Anselmo, talking about, him saying white power and stuff like that. It's well, in my opinion, you can't have them both on the list for pretty much the same thing. You have to go one or the other. That's all I'm going to say about that. But that's beside the point. But yeah, I just wanted to have the opportunity, the one chance to talk to him on camera before he goes away. And I could have went harder and went with top 10 Opeth songs, because that's his favorite band, and they're one of my favorites too. But I want to go prog, because prog is my third favorite style of metal behind thrash and death metal. And there's so much within prog metal that you could put prog black metal, prog death, prog thrash, prog doom, traditional prog. You could go everywhere. So that episode, though that episode won't...
Now there's a genre that I would have to go beyond Dream Theater, because the few prog metal bands that I know are Dream Theater, Opeth, and maybe one or two others. Because that I had to go a bit beyond.
Yeah.
Same for me.
Yeah, kind of for me too.
So, yeah, that episode won't happen for a couple of months because that, like, October, November, from what Mark has told me, that's when he would be more free to do the show. So,
Yeah.
so it'll be a little while before we get to that point.
Yeah.
So, but before that, we got folk metal albums, Roadrunner Records albums, and AC/DC songs. And just for you, Kamikaze, I got one album I would definitely put on a Roadrunner list, a Fear Factory album.
Can I just do
I
an
think
entire
we're, I think
list of
we're in
Fear
the
Factory for
I
that
think
video?
we're in the same wavelength.
Yeah.
It's a bit the same album that I will have on my list too.
It might be different for me, but we'll see what happens.
But as for the future,
Because right now, hold on, Ricky, because like as of right now, I only have Soul of a New Machine. I want to get the Manufacturer. I want to get Obsolete. I want to get a bunch of others from Fear Factory. I haven't worked since November, damn it, but I got a job coming up. I'm just waiting for the call to start working, damn it. But I got one lined up. I'm just waiting.
The deluxe edition too.
But Ricky, you were saying?
as for the future of the show, we have a lot of stuff coming up. Like, we're gonna go on for I don't know how long, as long as we can. Like, literally, look at all these ideas I have written down.
Jesus, criminy.
That's all of the ones that we've pitched over the years. Before we even started the show, we were talking about what are we doing? Top 10? I don't know. Power metal bands. Top 10 favorite album covers. And, you know, we can go a whole lot of different things. Like, for sure, we're gonna do in the future top 10 Beatles songs, top 10 Black Sabbath songs, Rolling Stones.
Which is something that many of us, since we started out with Banger, we were trying to give them ideas and subjects about doing Lockhorn stuff, and
Yeah.
now that they're going to pick up Lockhorns again, I mean,
And they finally listened to me, and they're doing a crossover thrash episode. Finally, good God, I've been waiting for that.
the only time that I'm going to defend suicidal tendencies to the very last. I like me some suicidal tendencies, and thrash crossover. They're more in their category. But here's the thing. I mean, we tried to. We never said that we wanted to be bigger than Banger, because we can't. We can't. Especially since what they do is their job. We have our own jobs and we have our own lives outside of this. But it's, as Ricky said, we have so many ideas, album covers, power metal, other stuff. Even we can throw in vocalists. Death metal vocalists. We
did a death metal vocalist episode.
Yeah.
Classic vocalists, power
Black metal vocalist.
Exactly. We could do so many things. And I wish that Banger who could just not just do the same old stuff, which what they've done so far is great, but try to broaden a little bit more, and also more discussions, because they could have done. They did the sexism in metal, which I thought that debate was total bullshit.
Yeah.
Mostly because of Natalie Z's SJW points.
Yeah.
The other two they did pretty much okay, and I could agree. But Natalie Z was full on SJW. But they said do a censorship in metal. Why not do censorship in metal? We did it, and we did it. Do religion in metal. Hey, I think that there's even a subject that even we can talk about it even amongst ourselves. Video games and metal. Why they do get so much blame for what is happening in society these days? I mean, I'll just say this. I'll just say this right away. We won't talk too. I've played Wolfenstein. I've played Doom. I've played Duke Nukem. I still listen to heavy metal these days, and even though I have in my head kind of a serial killer sort of thoughts. No, but here's the thing. Video games and metal music don't make bad persons. Other influences make bad persons. And if you're a bad parent, that's all on you.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
And hell,
what
even
Archer
other discussion points we thought about wanting to do for episodes, like rants on MTV. That would be just fun to tear apart. And we've had this one in our minds for ever since the beginning of the year. The Lord of Chaos movie debate.
For those of you who don't know, on the second dry run, we talked about this and we wanted to do this. It's a debate that's been building up for almost a year. And
Yeah.
oh boy. I know Hannah's got a lot to say. Arthur's got a lot to say. We all got our lot to say.
And it's fitting how when Loudwire put out a video of the 10 cringiest black metal moments, they put the Lords of Chaos movie on the list. I thought that was hilarious.
And speaking of Loudwire, I don't know if it's just me, but I remember we did an episode, I think it was on Death Metal Vocalist, Loudwire did their Death Metal Vocalist?
Well, not exactly the way we did it. They did guttural vocalists.
Oh, yeah.
And they had people like Randy Bly from Lamb of God on the list, which, fair, he's got a good guttural vocal, but not quite what we
But is
did.
Lamb of God death metal?
Not so much.
Or Banger TV, their own podcast. I'm like,
I watched the
wonder what
episode with
idea
Sam that they put out, and I thought it was a good episode.
yeah, it was. I mean, it's a great show, but I'm just like, where did they get the idea from?
Did they get it from us?
They acknowledge us all those years ago as the Four Horsemen.
And I even brought up in like the pre-chat stream on, I think I want to say it was the episode. It was back in July of last. No, it was for when we did dry runs before we started doing the show all together. We did a dry run for whenever the same day Banger put out the. No, it was a full episode we did. It was prior to when Banger did their Album of the Year 2018 list. And then right after we got done recording, that episode happened. I brought it up in the pre-stream chat. And Lisa, the producer at the time, was like, ooh, what's the podcast? And I brought it up. So I honestly feel like they did take that from us. And it was my fault. It was my fault. It was all my fault.
We said all the time, Lisa, and if she's watching right now, and I'm sure Levi would agree, open invitation. Sam, open invitation. Daniel, Brandon,
Blaine, Sarah.
Sarah.
Exactly. Oh, me and Sarah, we would have a hell of a time trying to discuss our love for aspects.
Myself and DK would be all over thrash and death metal for sure. But, yeah, future plans. Yeah, we got 4 episodes pretty much already pinned in coming up. After that, I want to say maybe after the prog metal episode with Cover Killer Nation joining, I believe that would be around the time we would probably do the Album of the Year 2019 episode.
That would be so hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say that because
that will be very hard. There have been some great albums, and I think
and there's still more to come.
A lot more.
Launches there.
A lot.
Yeah, there's still more to come. And even some rumored albums that honestly at this point are probably going to come out next year. Like Triptychon, I think that's coming out next year now. Same with Fear Factory's Monolith album. I think that won't come out for another several months. Even though I wished it would have come out this year, because that would have been cool. What, Ricky?
I just got a message from one of my friends. He decided to send me a question.
Oh.
Which is kind of weird. Let's see. Since you guys been knowing each other for almost a year, well, it's been more than a year.
More
than a year. Almost like 2, maybe 3 years. When you did your battle vest, I couldn't see if you guys have a patch for your show. It would be cool if you guys made a patch so you can guys put it in a one-of-a-kind thing.
Well,
there it is.
We did.
Germany, present the idea.
Yep.
We did.
What? Well, they're made. I haven't shipped them yet. But they will arrive. At what point?
Yeah. We did. I mean, it was something that Hannah and I were talking about.
For
And-
quite a while.
Mhm.
I can even if Anna makes an image of that, I can try and make a shirt.
Yeah, and
I
like,
can send you the image.
Yeah, but won't be for right now because because for the moment I'll be neck deep in work. But
Oh wait.
probably in November I'll try to speak with you to see if you can bring me the image so I can still make a shirt.
I can send it to you.
yeah.
Oh, I got another one. I got another question. Why don't you guys have an intro for your show?
Well, there's one guy we gotta ask about that, and he's hiding. But real quick before he answers that, I sadly don't have a battle vest yet, but I have 4 patches. I got Metallica, Borknagar, a banger patch, and At the Gate Slaughter of the Soul. So once I get a denim vest, these are going on. Same with the Horseman one as well.
I have my vest is right here, but whenever we do the next podcast, we can try to make with our own vests.
Yep.
That would be one.
Yeah. So, moment of truth. Dylan, why have we not gotten our new intro yet? Because Ricky keeps hounding me about it, and I keep saying I'm waiting on him to do it, but he's busy with so many other things.
Hey, it's not me. Sometimes my friends ask me. I mean, for you guys to have a cool
Yeah.
show, you guys don't have an intro, which I'm like.
It's still just been
kinda
my
right.
channel intro the whole time.
Oh, she and look, she wears hers.
I got it.
Up now, Artur's getting his.
Well,
Alright, so, Dylan, it's time, it's moment of truth time.
Well,
You want a vest? Got it right here.
There it is.
He doesn't
Well,
even want to answer.
well.
But seriously, I mean, we're in no rush. I mean, eventually
Yeah.
we're gonna have an intro. But I mean, I know being the show being for almost a year, it'd be kind of cool. But I get it. I know you're busy with work and life. I know we all sometimes.
And
it's
his
hard for
YouTube
us
channel,
to-
which outdoes mine
Like-
by a massive margin.
Like, people don't know. For us to do an episode, we have to plan it in advance. Like, literally, like a month or 2 weeks in advance. Just
Because there are so many different time zones and schedules. Everybody busy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got 2 or 3 different time zones in the US alone, and then Portugal and Germany. That's quite difficult to coordinate.
yeah.
So it is a very difficult thing to do, but we've lately managed to keep it up. So maybe, I don't know, who knows in the future? Maybe one of us will move to another place, or hell, maybe we're all live in Europe. It'll be much easier.
Or if we were all here in America, it would be easier too. But we have managed to fairly well over the course of the past couple of months. Like almost every 2 weeks, we managed to find a way to come together for the show,
Yeah.
which is, I think, a
Like-
good like steady
Yep.
pace. Every 2 weeks, we do an episode,
Like-
which would be great to keep that
here's the
kind of
thing.
thing going.
Here's the thing that I haven't shown you guys. I literally have every show written on the front page of the notebook, the date it was released, and the episode.
That's dedication.
Yeah,
and,
that is.
Everything
Oh,
right here. Every single list that I've done on my part, every idea I have it. This is like the Holy Bible for me. I have
oh.
everything right here.
Oh, kudos to you. I still have
That's
a
why-
5-subject notebook that I've not done really shit with.
I
And it's
mean,
like,
Ricky, that's why you get the big spot.
and it's like that
That's
one.
why you get the big spot. You are the most dedicated.
Yeah, that's why he gets the biggest box of the 5. But I was gonna say, like, it reminds me, now that I just brought up my notebook, I've only used like 2 or 3 pages of that damn thing. Rick Allen pops up again because, of course,
Yeah,
that
I might just
fickle
have to go back
bastard.
to push to talk.
Like I said, I'm a very humble person, but this show is not just mine; it's our show. We all
Yeah,
contributed every single day to it, whether it's an idea, a list, or something. I mean, we all contributed. Cause I gotta admit, I would not do this by myself. It would be very difficult to do.
yeah,
We all have a part of it.
yeah. Even the guests do their part too.
Even the guests, yeah.
But I was gonna say this because I brought up my notebook. I remember that one video you did, Dylan, where he was talking about, what was it, $50 for a college book or whatever. And you're like, I could have gotten, what was it, like 50 hours out of Fallout 3 or whatever. And you know how many I got? It's 0.0! Ah! That was one of the funniest things ever. I can't stop laughing at that. I thought that was funny. Another question we got from Not Wasted. How does one partake in this podcast? Well, we kind of basically touched on that a little bit. We'd have to know if you have Discord. We got to plan it in advance, come up with the episode, and then you just got to come up with your list. And that's
And
pretty
if you're
much
old
it.
enough,
If you're old enough, too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And also,
'cause-
if you're doing this, don't skip school.
yeah, don't
like our
skip
show,
school. We don't want to be bad
like-
influences.
No, like our show, we do it like at noon. If you have school during that time, don't risk it. I mean, we can have you during the summer.
Yeah.
You know,
Also, one rule that we established: no political talk, no,
Oh, no.
none of that.
None of
No.
that. Because we don't want this to turn into World War 5 and 6.
no.
Or
I mean,
as
the
or as
Germans there.
or as Carnifex did World War X, that album.
Mhm.
Which is a good album, by the way, for a deathcore band.
Yeah,
and
but-
stuff.
Anyone can partake in the show, just as long as you're available when we're
Let,
doing it,
let us know if you're interested.
and if you're old enough and you won't get in trouble.
Yeah. And if you love rock and metal, because that is what this show is all about, is rock and metal. No country or rap here. Unless we did we did do that one episode of non-metal artists, so we have done an episode about that.
I mean, old country, I'll give you a pass. Old country's the best
Old
country.
rap too.
Mm-hmm.
Or if
That's
you
a-
mix metal with country.
That's Southern rock.
No, I was thinking about Panopticon and
That's what I was thinking of,
Wayfarer
too.
and
Oh yeah, for you it's country
I
metal.
was
For me,
thinking-
it's
I
Southern
was
rock.
thinking more blues Saraceno. Number 8.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that.
Yeah.
Oh damn you, Barney Rubble.
Oh, I have another question.
Ooh.
Let's see. Why do you always laugh when everyone says 9?
Because it's a German thing.
I have another one.
Even.
I have another one. Watching Glorious Bastards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you don't get that reference, watching Glorious Bastards.
Yeah, there you go.
999.
And it's perfect how I remember, speaking of that, Kamikaze, I love how whenever you do your predictions videos and you say prediction number 9, you put the gif of him going 999. And I even did it too for mine.
You kind of have to.
Yeah, you have to,
Too
essentially.
perfect.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, I got another question from me. Let's see. This is an interesting one. Hey guys, Oh, it's for me. Hey Ricky, I know you're kind of on the stream right now. Here's a suggestion for a future episode: top 10 gothic metal albums.
Ooh, that would be another one similar to folk metal where I'd have to do some
Gothic
digging.
metal? Uh, there's one already on my list. It's going to be there
Moonspell.
for sure.
Oh,
Moonspell.
oh, there's already one on my list.
I would have 2 already on my list. I will say that.
I would also, I mean, I would have to go back and see a little bit the gothic metal chart that Banger did with Lindsay and all that old dispute between Therion and Nightwish and all that stuff. But I mean, that goth metal list, I would say it's one of the most accurate, and it's
yeah, on the gothic metal, I would put back him on the list because at that time I wasn't into him, but now they're more like one of my favorite bands. So, Banger, can you please add him back to the list, please? Even though I say they're out.
they put Candlemass back on the doom metal when that guy said that
Nick
Candlemass
Sewell.
wasn't doom metal, which was
Oh, that was so stupid, but it was funny. He kept on insisting. He kept on insisting that doom metal came from death metal. It's like, nope, it came from Black Sabbath. Oh,
yeah, I got
God.
another question. Since the original 4 Horsemen, where is Delicious Dishes?
Nobody knows.
I see him at times in the forums on metalstorm.net. I see his name there. But other than that, I've never talked to Delicious Dishes.
When this show was starting, I asked them on YouTube when back then YouTube used to be give out messages.
Yep.
So he never responded. I mean, if he were to watch the show and he wants to join, I mean, he could talk to us. I mean, all I remember that he's from Germany as well. So it would be kind of cool. I have 3 Europeans and 3 Americans.
but I also heard that this might be true, but this might be not. That he started to be like a troll on some of the discussions and such. So that's why we and even so, as Ricky said, we never got in touch with Delicious Dishes. So we kind of went with Hannah, that she also talked with us quite often, and she also don't be like that, because I mean we also talked with her on the Banger chat, and then we started to talk a bit like ourselves. And I don't mind if Delicious Dishes wants to enter, but I would say Hannah has always been more than welcome to the podcast.
I mean, I've been on all of them, so.
Yeah.
I know, but it's. I know. I mean, it's to say that we all doesn't mind if it's Delicious Dishes. I mean, you were always great, and still are.
Thank you, Ella. You too.
I got another one. This is for Hannah. Hannah, how does it feel to be in a sausage fest?
Oh, God. Oh, no.
I mean, I like it.
I mean, I understand why people would ask, since Hannah's the only girl on the show.
Yeah, it was bound to happen at some point.
I mean, dudes are just easier to talk to than chicks. That's my opinion. I mean, I always have enjoyed the company of men. Not in that way, but
Well,
I mean,
depending
I like
on
to
if you
talk to
find
them.
someone, though, then it's a different story. And now Ricky is dying.
Lots of second meanings. I mean, I like all of you guys. You're
Thank
easy
you.
to talk to. I like finally somebody to talk to about metal, since I'm the only metalhead in town.
Yeah, and we like you too, Anna. Thank you.
Exactly.
Um,
And if any other people want to join, I'm not saying, but you're more than welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And even Artur, even though like he had his disagreements about Cover Killer Nation, even he is willing to allow him on the show. So it kind of goes to show you, as long as it doesn't get into political talk, everything is all good.
Though one of the rules that we established is just we can talk about whatever you want as long as you respect each other.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we could, we play around with each other. Something we play
Yeah,
around
you
each
mess with me with Diabolis and Musica. We mess Hannah with Avantasia. It happens. It's like our universal language to an extent.
Yeah.
I mess with all of you, especially when we got to those killing sprees. But I mean, we always respected each other, and that, to me, has been one of the cores of this podcast. We've always managed to keep a well-based respect for each other.
And Arthur, remember, Tool is the best band on earth.
Oh boy.
Oh Lord.
I'm afraid for when we do the albums of the year, because it's gonna be again like Hannah did with last year. It's gonna be the same thing.
I honestly don't think that's going to really happen, because even though I gave the Tool album a high score, I haven't really returned to it all that much since, so it's probably gone down a little bit for me.
I mean, I've listened to it, it wasn't bad.
I may say something that Hannah will later bring a Panzer Division to my doorstep.
I'm on my way already.
Still, Rammstein will not be part of my list yet.
I'm departing now.
As I said, I'm starting to hear the Panzers. But with all the releases that have been going on, it will be to me a bit difficult to try to.
It's going to be hard for me too.
I'm on my way to Belgium now.
It's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, I mean, hell, like I've reviewed. I can't even count how many albums I reviewed either on the channel or on Twitter. I want to say at least over 100. That's a lot.
I've narrowed it down. Right now, I've got 21 albums already.
For me, I've done 25 album reviews, and I've only have 15. So I have a long way to go.
I mean, I could go on my.
Black metal albums.
I've done at least a bit 15. And I'm still waiting for Bork Nagar. That one I'll definitely review. Opeth also when it comes out.
Yeah, like
For
right
me,
now.
Insomnium.
Yeah, like right now.
Also,
Yeah, like right now on my.
Opera.
Yeah, like right now on my community tab on my channel, I got a poll up for what album coming out this weekend people want me to review. Right now, it's pretty much overwhelmingly Opeth. Somehow As I Lay Dying second. I don't get it. I like As I Lay Dying, but I've heard this album's not that great, so I don't really know. But we'll see what happens.
Give a listen to Bork Nagar as well.
Yeah, I definitely will listen to Bork Nagar.
Well,
But, there went his phone again. But Opeth is looking like that's going to be the album where I'll do the video review for. Like, basically how I do my reviews, for those who may be wondering. For the most part, the only time I didn't review an album that was voted the most for was for when Korn got more votes. I was like, you know what? And ever since then, the guy who wanted me to do the review for that album, me and him, we had a fallout over him not wanting to take responsibility for an online wreck in a race online, and Kamikaze knows about this. Basically, at the time, I just didn't want to review Korn just to make him cry. That's why I ended up reviewing Blood Red Throne instead of Korn. But I did eventually listen to the Korn album and reviewed it on Twitter, and I thought it was a good album. So basically, for the most part, the album that gets the most votes in the polls on my YouTube channel gets the video reviews. Every other album will get reviewed on my Twitter account. And there's still a bunch of albums I've yet to listen to or finish all the way through. Like, I haven't listened to Flesh God Apocalypse yet. Haven't listened to Volbeat. Haven't finished Arch Matheos, even though from what I've heard, the first 2 tracks, fucking amazing. I haven't listened to Cult of Luna yet. I haven't listened to...
Oh, that's so good.
I haven't listened to it either.
It's so good.
It's not so many albums, maybe like 10 I haven't heard yet on my list, but there will be a time where I'll have some days off from work and I'll dedicate my time to listening to the albums I missed and try and stay up to date with everything. That's basically how I roll with reviews. And speaking of reviews, I gotta address this. And Artur, if you can, me.
Go for it.
Alright, I need to address this. First time I'm going to address this. The Tool review has been quite a talking point on my channel as of late. It's gotten almost 800 views, bunch of comments, 10 likes, 6 dislikes. People felt like they needed to start like a big comment war on my channel about that album. Like, I get it, if you don't like Tool, that's fine, but have some respect for people who respect them and actually enjoys their work. And a lot of the people in the comment sections were just like, do you have Stockholm Syndrome? And I'm like, no, I'm just being as objective as I possibly could be. I thought it was a pretty damn good album. Not the best Tool album, but it didn't have to be. And, like, I appreciate all the views it's gotten. Like, it's been my most viewed review this year for obvious reasons, because Tool, it's been 13 years. But at the same time, like, okay, I get, you may not like Tool. But for God's sakes, I'm just giving an unbiased opinion. And if you can't accept my opinion, why do you bother going crazy about it? You had to go there? Okay, so... I just needed to get that off my chest because it felt kind of exhausting a little bit. After that review came out, I kept on getting like so many comments in a single thread. And it's like, I don't know about this. Like, did I just start like a fan war of sorts? It was funny, but it was also kind of like, geez, can these guys give it a rest already? But... I mean, it is what it is. All that matters, it got a lot of views. I don't give a shit. Even though I do wish other album reviews I've done would have gotten some more respect, like, say, the Rammstein album review probably could have used more, but, I mean, hey, it's their choice. I'm not gonna force them, which is fair.
Swallow the sun.
But nonetheless, as far as our time here, we'll go another 20 or so minutes, see if we get more questions, and then once we get the 2-hour mark, we'll be calling it a day. So anybody who's still watching, you got about 20 minutes to send us questions, and then we'll be going off the air. But for now, let's just talk for a little bit, back to like us asking each other questions that we started with. I'll let someone else ask somebody something first, just while I think.
Alright, Hannah, hit me.
What's the best burger to get in Texas?
Here we go. Now we're getting to the real essential topics.
Whataburger.
Whataburger is good.
Okay.
I have one for Levi.
Oh.
F. Mary Kill. Angela Gosso, Alyssa Whitegloss, and Jill Janus.
Oh,
No,
Lord.
she's dead.
Yeah, she's dead.
You can't kill her anymore.
Oh, man.
Then F. Mary Kill. Angela Gosso,
Alyssa
Whitegloss, or Maria Brink.
Oh.
Oh.
I don't want to kill any of them, but if I had to choose one, Maria Brink. Unfortunately.
Mary who? F who?
I would marry Angela and fuck Elisa. Enough said. Well, now that you brought that up, oh Lord, Kamikaze, I got a good one for you, man.
Can we not?
I got a good one for
I still
you.
want to have some dignity coming out of it.
I got one for you, buddy. Okay. Fuck,
I
marry...
probably deserve this for buying a Hinder album, to be honest.
Yeah, you do, you motherfucker. Alright. Fuck, marry, kill. Tails, Casey Mears, and Martin Truex Jr. And now he's dead.
I hereby retire from YouTube. Thanks everyone from the views. Thanks everyone for all the subscriptions. It's been a fun 6-year long ride. But I'm hanging out.
But no, but actually now a real fuck, marry, kill. Metal people. I'm trying to think of three.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of 3 different ones that Artur didn't do.
Taya.
Yeah, Taya Turin from Nightwish, Lizzie Hale of Hailstorm, and
Joan Jett.
Joan Jett. And Joan Jett. So Lizzie Hale, Joan Jett, and Tarja Turunen.
I mean, you have to fuck Taria, can't you? I mean, yeah, you have to.
So now, who do you marry? Who do you kill between Joan Jett and Lizzie Hale?
I don't know. I think Joan Jett would make a pretty good housewife, don't you think?
So you're gonna kill Lizzie Hale?
I guess I have to kill Hale.
Oh man.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, but if I had to choose, honestly, even though I don't want to kill anybody, but I would honestly kill Joan Jett and marry Lizzie Hale.
No, I would.
Just because.
I would
Here's
kill
my
Lizzie
reasoning.
Hale.
Here's my reasoning for wanting to marry Lizzie Hale. She, from what I hear, she is a freaking bed. Enough said. And Artur's dying. So, unless it was like a super easy one, yeah. But, yeah, we opened that Pandora's box now, did we? Alright, I got a question for Ricky. If... Oh god, I gotta think. Damn it. If you had to create your own thrash metal supergroup with dead or alive musicians, who would you have on vocals, lead guitar, rhythm guitar, bass, and drums?
Well, for sure, bass, Cliff Burton. That's for sure.
I'll make that question afterwards for Hannah, but in terms of black.
Oh, yeah. And then if you want to ask me for death metal, I could. So there you go.
Well, for bass, Cliff Burton. That's for sure. On drum, I would say the drummer from Megadeth, like from the first 2 albums.
Oh, Gar Samuelson?
Yeah, Garth, yeah. On guitar, lead guitar, I'd go with I don't know. On vocals for sure, I would go with from Creator,
Mila
Mexico.
Petroza?
Yeah, for vocals. For rhythm guitarist and lead guitarist, for lead, I will go Dave Mustaine, and for rhythm, I go with
I have one.
I'm trying to think here.
Jeff Waters.
Yes,
Jeff Waters from Annihilator, yeah.
yes, Jeff Waters. I was gonna say Scotty Ian, but Jeff Waters is better.
Yeah. Alright, so...
Now in a way, I throw the question to Hannah. Black metal supergroup with vocals, 2 guitar, bass, and a drummer.
And if you want to throw in keyboardist, you can.
Yeah.
Keyboard is not that much. I'm sticking a bit with the old school.
Yeah.
On bass, I would get ICS Vortex. Um, Also on background vocals. On drums, I would get Dark Side of Migwa. Because he is a hell of a drummer. On guitars, well,
Euronymous, come
no,
on, Euronymous.
no, I would actually get Ishan.
Ooh.
Or if I would get a bit more new school, I would probably get Chris of Batushka because let's face it, he's writing awesome riffs. On vocals, I think that's a tough one. I like Ishan.
Dead.
Dead.
Then you have that, of course. But I can't really decide. There are so many great black metal vocalists. I mean, let's not forget Germ of Ulva.
No, wait. Quarthon.
Quarthon, yeah.
Yeah, Quarthon.
Although Quarthon is more known for his guitar skills than his vocal skills.
Yeah.
That's why you can have it. Hannah can have Quarton for the guitarist and Ishan on vocals.
Perhaps, yeah.
And have Ishan play rhythm guitars, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, there are so many great musicians in black metal. It's kind of hard to decide.
It is.
For example, I honestly really like Onelia from Dark and Nocturne Slaughter Cult. And I love Migvar, so there are so many to choose from.
Alright, same question to Levi on death metal.
Oh, God. Bass, Alex Webster of Cannibal Corpse.
I know that one of the members will be Chuck Schuldiner. It has to.
Dan Swano.
But yeah, bass, Alex Webster of Cannibal Corpse, no question. Drums? There are so many great death metal drummers out there that I look up to.
Can I suggest one?
What?
George Kolias.
Oh, yeah, from Nile. If I was like the kind of death metal I would be one to go for would be a mix of traditional with brutal rhythms from like Suffocation and such, with melody from
Sean
Death.
Reinert,
Maybe Sean Reinert. I don't know. I actually will go with Mike Smith from Suffocation, because he can play anything. Vocals, good lord. Vocals, I would go with John Tardy from Obituary, because I think he's the defining death metal vocalist ever. And then guitars, you can't not have Chuck on there. I mean, you can't. Chuck on lead guitar, on rhythm guitar. It'd be hard to go against Dan Swano on guitar. And he can play lead as well. Like, they can rotate lead and rhythm, Chuck and Dan. So, yeah. I guess that would be my death metal supergroup. My Bloodbath.
Alright. Same question to Archer, power metal.
Oh, dang.
And then I got one for Kamikaze for industrial.
Vocals, I have to go Ronnie James Dio. He is the one that started the power metal songs, and he will always be known as the wizard that started all. Drums, I mean, there are so many great drummers, but I would have to go Anders Jakobsen from Hammerfall, the original Hammerfall drummer. He's a great virtuoso. Lead guitars, easy. Kai fucking Hansen. You cannot have, and I said that he wouldn't mind playing with you.
Yeah.
Bass player. bass player, I would have to go with the, what's it called? I mean, I forgot, but I know it was the bass player for Primal Fear, rhythm guitar, and this could be interchangeable.
I got
Ray
one.
Ulrich from
John Schaefer from Iced Earth.
yeah, John Schaefer. If I have to do a Iron Maiden style group, I would put Kai, John, and what's it, the other that I also enjoy. This might be a bit controversial, but I kind of thought that Nevermore could be a bit on the power metal spectrum. I would have put a bit Jeff Loomis there,
Yeah.
as well. But that is I have to do an Iron Maiden sort of group. Dio, Kai, John, the bass player from Primal Fear, which I don't remember, and the drums, Anders Jakobsen. Although in vocals, I would have changed Ronnie James Dio, and fuck, I forgot Yngwie.
Why not Yngwie on rhythm guitar?
He'd have to have him as lead, because he's gonna solo forever.
Yeah. No.
True. True.
Yngwie, I would put kind of a bit of the main event act, but that's a whole story. But yeah, Dio, Kai, John Schaefer. I don't remember. Not the bass player from Peter Baltus from Accept. I know that he played a bit in. I know that he delves a bit, and of course not Anders Jakobsen, Anders Johansson, who was also the drummer for Yngwie Malmsteen's.
And of course, if you had to throw in keyboardist in a power metal supergroup, Jens Johansson.
Jens Johansson. Although I could seriously put a bit the keyboardist from, and despite I don't like that band that much, the one from Dragon Force as well.
All right, Kamikaze, your industrial supergroup, vocals, 2 guitars, bass, and drums.
Well, that's a tough one because a lot of the industrial guys will machines nowadays. So, I don't know who I'd put on drums, but if I had to pick someone,
I got one for it.
Well, if I had to pick someone, I'd go from the original early '90s Ministry group. I'm looking on Wikipedia right now, and it says the Wikipedia is really stupid looking right now, so I don't know if I'll read this, but it's Bill Rieflin. I
figured he was gonna say Raymond Herrera, Fear Factory,
I was thinking more Raymond
but I didn't
Herrera,
want to fill it with Fear Factory.
or Gene Hoglan.
Yeah, but I didn't want to just fill it with Fear Factory.
Yeah, because it would have been redundant.
But I think you'd also have to add producer for this. You'll want your electronics guy.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be a tough pick between Trent Reznor and maybe J.S. Clayton of Pitch Shifter. Because both of them are super strong on the production side.
Or Reese Folber from Frontline Assembly.
That's true.
Who also has done a lot of Fear Factory albums, too.
Vocals, I'm not sure. Kind of might want to put Trent on there as well.
Yeah.
Why not Till Linderman?
Till Lindemann from Rammstein.
I would pick him immediately.
I would try to put also Peter Taggerton, but Peter Taggerton I would put as the black metal producer.
Yeah, or death metal, too.
He can produce anything.
Yeah, he could. He really could.
What haven't I said yet? Oh,
You haven't said
Tony Campos on bass.
Oh yeah, and then guitars. 2 guitars.
Secondary guitarist. Oh, that's a tough.
You said Dino, right?
I said Dino for a lead. And man, that's tough.
I have one. John 5.
Yeah, John 5.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about him. Completely forgot. And I still love how we just brought up Pierre Tagarin and Till Lindemann. I remember I showed Kamikaze that song Praise Abort, and he died laughing.
It's such a funny song.
I like to fuck, but no French letter. Without the condom, the sex is better. But every time I get it in, a baby cries. And sometimes twins.
Sometimes twins.
I look forward to hearing that project come out with a new album. It's supposed to be before the end of the year, if not 2020. That's going to be fun.
I think it's late November. I
think
pre-ordered
that's
it.
a song that has come out.
Yeah, Steh auf.
Yeah.
That's the
With,
name. Song.
Who's the actor? Peter Stormare. He's also on the actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun year to be a Rammstein fan or a Till Lindemann fan, because 2 projects in the same year. That's fun. Well, wow, that was a burp out of nowhere. Well, I think that's pretty much it for the show. Man, I'm surprised that the frames lasted as long as it did. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
So, that's... although I perhaps got one last question before we wrap things up. This goes for everyone. If you had to meet one musician from any band that you would like to have as your best friend for the rest of your life, who would it be? I'll go ahead and answer Michael Ackerfeld, because he would crack me up for days.
Angus Young, the guitar god himself, my inspiration. Oh.
Oh, fuck. I mean, King Diamond would be on that list, absolutely. But I'm struggling between him and the clown prince of metal himself, ABBA.
that would be so funny.
Yeah, Abbott and Michael Ackerfeld together doing comedy would be amazing.
Together.
Or they just do random stage banter like Michael. I remember at one point, speaking of Michael and funny stage banter, that reminds me, I watched an interview with Dave Mustaine from Gigantor 2006. Opeth was on that bill, and he talked about how cool Opeth was, and talking about Michael, how he just says the most random things before a song. He goes, "This next song is about butt fucking." I just think that because of stuff like that, I would love to be friends with Michael. Hannah.
Hannah?
Well, the thing is, I've met Martin from Ghost and MCC quite a few times now. But I really want to meet Paul from Rammstein, because he's so funny, and I would love to joke around with him. I would simply love to meet him. One point.
Why not Flaky?
Oh.
Flake is a bit too weird for me. My favorite member of the band has and always will be Paul, and because he, in my opinion, is the most humble and funniest. I mean, Flake is funny but weird.
Never wanted to meet Doom. Never wanted to meet Doom.
He's on number 3. I mean, Paul, Richard or whatever, and then Christoph, Till, and then either Flake or Oliver.
All right, Kamikaze.
I think it's no contest. One of the greatest vocalists of any generation, none other than the one and only Nicki Minaj. Now, she is super good looking, and all that good stuff. And I think she'd just be great to, hang out with, have a good time.
And talk about anacondas.
Oh,
right.
Lord.
No, honest truth, Rob Halford. No,
I figured that was what you would pick, yeah.
You could do a threesome with Nicki Minaj and Rob Halford.
Oh,
You know,
Lord.
I'd be open
Oh,
to it.
Lord.
I mean, young
I mean, just drinking
Rob
tea.
Halford. That'd be like fucking your grandpa.
Oh, my God.
We love you, Rob.
Jesus, why? Oh, my God, I'm dead. Oh.
And that's the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, what an end to the
Podcast.
show. What an end to a fucking awesome episode. Yeah, I am impressed for once with OBS. Yeah, it may have been choppy at times, but no crazy frame rate drops. Everything seemed to go smooth. Even though the chat basically disappeared because I don't know what's wrong with Streamlabs. Like, the chat box on Streamlabs has been lagging for months now. I don't understand. But I figured before we leave off, I'll leave you with a little bit of words of wisdom. If any man out there wants to watch porn, go watch Zev Bellringer. She will change your life like she has for me. And I'm also saying that because I'm friends with her for real. So there you go. Kamikaze can attest to this too.
Conflict of interest.
Kamikaze can attest to that too because we did that commercial for her, and she eventually watched it and loved the hell out of it. So there you go. Anyways, well, actually, you know what? Just for shits and giggles, there she is again. Hello. Anyways, in all seriousness, thank you guys for joining me in Discord, and thank you to the people in the chat who participated. This was a fun episode. One of the most fun episodes we've done ever. I hope that whenever I get the new computer, we can make this a regular thing. Like, once a month, we do a live show where we just chat, answer questions, and make each other laugh, just like we did today. So, but a reminder to those who watch the Horsemen podcast regularly, next 4 episodes we got planned. We got folk metal albums next, which I've got a lot of listening to, Roadrunner Records albums, AC/DC songs, and prog metal albums with Cover Killer Nation as our special guest for basically an appearance from him for his farewell run on YouTube. So, there you go. After that, we got plenty of ideas up on the top of our heads. We could get other special guests. We can get Kamikaze back on future episodes. I know one time, Kamikaze, you've got to hit your breaking point. Top 10 industrial metal bands. We've definitely got to hit that at some point. Or Fear Factory songs. Which that'll be tough for me, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to hit everybody's soft spot at one point or another. We've all had it. I got hit with it with Metallica. Hannah got hit with it with Rammstein. Ricky's going to get his with AC/DC. Artur had his with Iron Maiden. So.
And Raphael, we know probably still watching at the very end, but we know we're coming for you. Slipknot.
I thought, oh my god, I thought you were going to say what Booker T said. I swear. Oh my god, I was like, oh my god, is he actually going to do it? So anyways, thank you guys for watching episode 20, live Q&A for the 1-year anniversary. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on episode 21, where we go back to technical difficulties. We go back to Bandicam. We go back to me falling backwards on a chair and Hannah saying, "For you to die." We go back to the old school format. See you later.
And Portuguese madmen.
Yes, and mass genocide. And Kamikaze,
And
you want to give you a kiss on the lips.